This video is not for kids. We're going to talk about death. We're going to talk about difficult issues, exploitation of people by other people. We're going to talk about the reality of living in the Roman Empire in a way that I did not expect. But I think it's a really interesting video, and there's some really important lessons to be learned here and how people don't change. So with that being said, I'm going to give you a moment to get all children out of the room unless you as a parent or guardian think it's appropriate for them and you've reviewed this material. So we're going to start now. When I was a kid in Sunday school class, Miss Janie Ray sometimes would tell me stories about a thing that happened in the Bible, which a lot of that happened in the Roman Empire. And I used to imagine that when she brought the felt board out, she'd put these kids on here, or she'd put these people on here, like everything just came alive to me. But I remember these being very vibrant and exciting stories, but everybody looked happy, right? Like if you zoom in here, like these ladies, they have like makeup on, and they look like me, which I don't think is what really, that wasn't really the way it was. It's interesting because when I think of Roman times or the Bible stories that happened in the Roman Empire, I often think about a scene like this. When I went to Pompeii, which was a city that was locked in time by the volcanic eruption of Mount Vesuvius, I was expecting to see the engineering marvels of the Roman Empire. I was expecting to see the streets, and we are going to see that, but I was expecting to walk away from that with a very different feeling than what I actually walked away with. Let's start with the simple facts of what happened in a city called Pompeii. I know the name Pompeii sounds like some kind of Polynesian island, but it's actually located right on the Mediterranean Sea in Italy. It's located right here, in between the modern cities of Sorrento and Naples, which at the time of the eruption were called Sorrentum and Neapolis. Mount Vesuvius rises high above Pompeii, here in the northwest. In 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted, burying the cities of Pompeii, Aplantis, and Herculaneum in ash and pyroclastic flows. Most historians believe this occurred on August 24th of that year, but some think it may have been later in the year. It doesn't really matter. What we do know is that Herculaneum and Aplantis were hit immediately by pyroclastic flows, killing people almost instantly. But because of the direction that the wind was blowing that day, Pompeii was covered in ash first, and then it was later hit by subsequent pyroclastic flows. I really don't know what a pyroclastic flow is. When I think of a volcano erupting, I think of red molten rock, lava, and magma flowing down a hill and covering things. But a pyroclastic flow, as I understand, is a little bit different. It's like rock and ash that's shooting down a hillside with hot gases mixed in very, very quickly, and that creates this wave of all this, what will become sediment flowing over the city, but there's like this little layer, this boundary layer of hot gases that these rocks and ash are floating on and just covering everything. It's a terrifying thing. There's a lot of interesting footage of pyroclastic flows online, but the only ones that I had the rights to were the U.S. Geological Surveys. Back when Mount St. Helens erupted, there was a photographer that was in an aircraft with a 16mm film camera. This is an 8mm film camera, but you said this is a Bell & Howell film camera. But he was flying in the aircraft and he was shooting Mount St. Helens from the air. You can see the pyroclastic flow running down the side of the mountain. It looks like dust running down really, really fast. That is extremely hot ash and rocks and all kinds of stuff like that. That is pyroclastic flow. There's a lot of modern footage, but I didn't have the rights to any of that, so this gives you an idea of what that cloud might have looked like as it was rushing towards Pompeii. So these pyroclastic flows just instantly hit these cities and covered them and locked a Roman city in time, and I have thought about this my entire life, and my beautiful wife Tara planned a trip for us for our 20th anniversary, and we're gonna get to see something that's been on my bucket list forever. So let's go get smarter every day. My wife is excellent at planning and logistics, which is why I thought it was fascinating that she elected to hire a tour guide for Pompeii. Why did you decide that a tour guide was the right decision?
Just for that particular place, it was so big and there was so much to do that the only way to get in the door and to see the highlights was to have somebody do that for us.
Tara likes to plan with Rick Steves tour guides. If you know, you know. And on one of the forums about Pompeii, she learned about PompeiiTourGuide.com, which we were very excited about because it says that Ciro is a 4th generation tour guide.
Hey, nice to meet you.
How are you doing? Nice to meet you.
Hey, Tara.
Tara, nice to meet you.
How are you? Ciro helped us get the correct tickets for the site, and then we followed him in to begin our tour.
So Pompeii was never destroyed by a river of lava, but was just buried and preserved under 25 feet. It means 7-8 meters of pumice stones and ash. All what you have to imagine is a rain of pumice stones and ash from the sky. That's the reason why all the roofs, all the upper part of the buildings collapsed. 30% of Pompeii, 1/4 of it, is still under the volcanic ash. 79 AD, the first eruption. 1748, the first excavation. It means for 18 centuries, all the other Roman cities and towns were all destroyed by the barbarians, and all the other folks come after them, while Pompeii was always so well preserved under a green hill, just like frozen in a time. That's the reason why nowadays it's so well preserved. Now we are in front of one of the main entrances. The big arch over there is called the Porta Marina. Porta Marina, it means a sea gate. Why that? Down here there was the sea. Pompeii, it was a seaport town, commercial town, trading center. About 20,000 people used to live here at the time, and they used to sell really good qualities of olive oil, wine, clothes, wooden furniture. Every day used to come here travellers, sailors, merchants. That's a kind of Vegas of 2,000 years ago. Imagine 7 different gates like this one in front of us, all around 2 miles of city wall, and outside of the city wall we have these buildings where on the lower part the public bath, the spa of the time.
Right next to this ocean.
Yeah.
Ocean would have been here.
Yeah, yes. This is one of the reasons why the Roman Empire it lasts so long, 12 centuries, from 700 years BC to 500 years AD. Until now, no other emperor or democracy it lasts so long. Another reason why it lasts very long is because they did everything considering the needs of the common people. So aqueduct, sewage system, theater, spa, roads, all in a way to improve the daily lifestyle. So people felt beloved by the Roman Empire, and they were always ready to fight against any others in a way to preserve the good lifestyle they got and supporting the Emperor Rome.
We headed into the street, and it was surreal to be standing on stones that were built as a part of a road that belonged to the Roman Empire.
I would love to give you 2 important information before going inside this complex of spa. First important information, Pompeii at the moment of the explosion, eruption Vesuvius, it was a 700 years old town. Now Pompeii was first built 600 years BC, buried 79 AD. So 700 years old town, which means twice older than modern states, to give you a better idea, very old. That's the reason why wherever we go around, all the buildings are all originals, but built using different stones and techniques. That's why in some part we found the bricks, tufa stones, marble, basalt. Second important information, you have to imagine all the walls inside and outside used to be covered by plaster and decorated by colors. So you have to imagine a very colorful buildings all around you.
Like painted?
Yeah, painted. You know why? Beautiful, so good combination of colors makes you feeling good. Once again, they are prepared psychologically all the travelers to spend money in a happy way. Colors, game, wine, women, not just the walls of the wealthy houses like many people used to think, but the walls of the entire town, inside and outside, covered by plaster and decorated by colors.
That's awesome.
Amazing. So the first part now of every complex of spa, this opening in front of us, it was the gymnasium of the time, where they did a rumor whistling, a bit of sports before go in a spa. Please, let's go inside. Mind your step, watch your feet.
I thought I knew what to expect when going into the spa. I thought it was going to be like a hot water place, a cold water place, but I wasn't prepared for the brothel.
First of all, the roof is not original. The roof has been redone by the archaeologists with the same shape and the same stuff. So all the original roofs were done like this. What I mean, with the wooden beams covered by terracotta tiles. Then you have to imagine decorations all over, 360 degrees. What I mean, pavements, walls, and also ceiling. The ceiling in some part is very well preserved, other part collapsed at the time. But you have to imagine decorations and colors everywhere. We have original mosaic floor in all of the complex of spa. Why that? Beautiful decorations, not slippery with the wet feet. Beautiful and functional. For the Romans, everything is to be beautiful and functional. Not just beautiful, just functional, but both. We are talking about original colors, frescoes on walls of 2000 years ago. And on your right, a kind of reception of the time where they did a welcome to the complex of Spa. Now,
So this is like where you check in.
yes, welcome. Okay. And then the colors, after 2000 years, look so new, so vivid. For a special technique they use at the time, they prepare every walls with a 2-3 layer of a plaster, very thick layer of plaster. On the last layer of plaster, still fresh, they painted. That's why frescoes, painted on the fresh plaster, it absorbs all the colors and stays forever. I always do the example of a tattoo. When we do a tattoo, the colors goes through the 7 layers of skin and stays forever. The same technique they use at the time. That's why you find all the walls covered with this very thick layer of plaster all over. Just on the last layer, the colors. And the colors from all what they could find in the nature. The pigments of the flowers, of the plants. All right?
That looks like an angel.
Cupid, yeah?
Oh, it's Cupid.
All right, yes. Now, what is important to see over here in this first room? To the right, we have a door. Of course, it's not the original door of the time. Behind the door, we have the stairs leading up to the second stories. And we have many erotic paintings on the walls showing different positions of sex. Now, nothing to do with the modern pornography, but all was done to avoid any misunderstanding between the travelers and the girls, speaking different languages. It was like a menu. Look at the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The numbers indicate the lockers where they put clothes, but also the position of sex. Unfortunately, we missed the other specialty of the house. Number 13, 14, 15, just your imagination.
Seeing this was pretty heartbreaking. There's the exploitation of people, many of them slaves, by other people for sexual pleasure, financial gain. There's just a lot wrong here. And I think I would be naive if I just pretended like, oh, the ancient world was the only place where this kind of thing exists. There are probably more slaves on earth today than in the ancient Roman Empire. That's just like raw numbers. That's just the way it is. And there are financial incentives today for people to be sexually exploited and trafficked. So I just thought about the total depravity of human nature and how it was just a very sad thing to see it all here. But there's something about seeing people being able to be ordered on a menu that really bothered me. As a Christian, and thinking about the context of Jesus entering into this society where the normalization of sexual exploitation was everywhere, it's very interesting, and it helps me understand how radical and dangerous the teachings of the young Christian church would have been in a location like this. Fascinating. A lot of stuff to think about here. We looked around the rest of the spa, and I saw all kinds of interesting engineering things that went into how they made the floors warm and things like that. But as we exited the spa, I asked Ciro an interesting question, and he gave me a fascinating answer. When it was uncovered initially, was it colorful?
Yes, it was more beautiful than now. Pompeii, first time excavated, was something left intact. So colors everywhere, original mosaic floor, original statues all around. Then, after the first excavations, during the years, the colors disappearing under the pollution, rain, sun. Then the Second World War. During the Second World War, more or less 160 bombs exploded in this archaeological area, destroying much others. And then the pollution, and then we don't have a good technical preservation. That's why I totally agree with the archaeologists to go very slow with the excavations, to preserve for the next generations. Otherwise, in a bit of time, we lose everything. Because the things today are better preserved underneath and outside. Pompeii today is still very unique in all over the world, but first time excavated may be more beautiful than now.
At this point, we walked up towards the center of the city on the hill where Pompeii was built, and we got our bearings.
Up here, you can see that Pompeii was built in an amazing location. We are on top of a hill, in the middle of everything. We have all the Sorrento Peninsula on your left, The islands of Ischia cover in this direction behind by the wall. The Mediterranean Sea down there, which was once much closer. Nice breeze from the sea, can you feel it?
Yes.
That's why locations, locations, locations. But the Romans were the first to pave the roads all around. They did 75,000 miles of highways all around. That's why the expression, all the roads lead to Rome. But they realized very soon that on the same roads used to go the animals and the people. So now there was a problem because the animals left excrements on the floor and people used to walk on it. This was not really good. What the Romans invented for the people for the very first time are the sidewalks, left and right, everywhere. All along the sidewalks, the people, just the animals.
There's sidewalks.
All right, Destin, but the problem is still on the floor. Huh? Pee-pee, poo-poo, how to wash the roads.
Yeah.
In all of the city, they got many water fountains, always left open, cleaning and washing the roads every time. Fantastico, clever.
Yeah.
And how to cross road avoiding wet feet? Look down there, the central stepping stones to cross road avoiding wet feet.
That's amazing.
Clever.
Yes.
But during the night, no illumination, no electricity. How to recognize the roads? By the sidewalks, the small and white marble chips, the reflectors, the cat's eyes, to reflect either the moonlight or the torches light people normally got during the evenings. Huh? So smart.
So the white rock in the road.
We have the central stepping stones to cross road avoiding wet feet.
So you can avoid the poop. But the
Yes.
wagon wheels, is this the same gauge as the wagon wheel?
Yes, but the wagons, the chariots, how they were able to pass through. Now, first of all, they all got the same gauge, so standard, always pulled by two animals, usually two donkeys in a line with the two wheels. So imagine one donkey on a wheel to the right, one donkey on a wheel to the left, one wagon in this direction, another one to the other side, so two-way road. Wherever you find the 3 or 4 central stepping stones, it means two-way, but if you find 1 or 2, it's one-way only. But once again, one-way, two-way, sidewalks, crosswalks.
One thing I find interesting about crosswalks in modern society is these white squares are kind of like the raised stones in Pompeii at pedestrian crossings, which I think is really cool. It makes me think about not stepping here from now on, but I think that's neat. Isn't that cool? Okay, yeah.
The most funny picture to do in Pompeii is crossing the roads like the Beatles. Abbey Road. Huh? And then we have Mount Vesuvius in front of us. Huh? The volcano, before the eruption, was much higher and big than now. Huh? Can you see the right peak and the left one?
Yes.
So with your imagination put together high in the sky, it was one big cone. After the eruption 79, one part blew up. Huh?
Do we have any idea how tall it was?
More or less 2,000 meters high. Today is 1,281 meters high.
Wow.
Is still active in his one.
It's kind of ominous, isn't it? It kind of feels like it's overbearing. Like,
Yeah. It looks very close from here.
yeah.
And still active, one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. That's why in a bit of time, when you go back home, in a bit of time staying home, you hear about another eruption, Vesuvius. Please, thinking about me, pray for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
For your guide, for Ciro. Now, we say 79 AD, the eruption Vesuvius. Pompeii was destroyed by pumice stones and ash. Above the ash grew the vegetation. Everybody forgot about Pompeii for 18 centuries because Pompeii became a green hill. Now, who and how Pompeii was founded? Now, Pompeii was founded by the Spanish with an accident, because during the 1748, during the first excavations, we were under the Spanish dominations, and the Spanish were building in this area an aqueduct. Just in cutting the hill of Pompeii, they found the remains of an ancient Roman town. So Pompeii was founded by the Spanish with an accident after 18th century that it was frozen in a time.
So this is a mixture of terracotta brick and volcanic stone.
Yeah, now I tell you more about bricks. I will see you very interesting. Now, the bricks are originals, but the bricks got a cost because they need to produce. In a way to save money during the constructions, they use bricks only in the corners. Look, all the corners made by bricks. The rest of the wall with the poor stones, local stones, having no cost. But then, always covered by plaster, decorated by colors, it was once never possible to see how the buildings were made out of. Everything was under, covered by plaster and
To
decorated
make
by
it very straight and just
Yes.
And then they just had volumetric fill in the middle, right?
All the corners made by bricks. Inside the wall, the rest of the wall, poor stones, local stones, having no cost. East to west was the longest side of Pompeii because having no electricity, the sunlight was important. Here, from the sunrise till to the sunset, they always got sunlight all along this side, east to west. And everything, once again, was like in a modern town. Look, sidewalks left and right, crosswalk in the middle, house and shops left and right, second stories, balcony, terrace, colors everywhere, a large number of wagons. Look how deep are the tracks left by the wheels of the wagons. The wheels of the wagons were made by wooden all around an iron circle, no shock absorbers, very noisy, produce the tracks, the grooves on the floor. Originals.
Wow.
They were very systematic people. Look, shop, house, shop, shop, house, shop. The building is over, is a block. Then start another block, shop, house, shop. Very systematic people.
Okay, you're smart. AnyDesk is free. That's the sponsor for this video. And so my first question is, if something's free, does that mean I'm the product? And the answer is not in this case, because AnyDesk knows they're so good at what they do that if you use it, you're gonna love it, and you're gonna want to get a business account and use it at your employer, and your employer will then pay money to use AnyDesk, which means you get to use it for free, which is a big deal. I'm gonna show you how I use AnyDesk to do remote control of my computer from a different location. That's what AnyDesk does, and let me show you how I do it. So I am on the home stretch of writing an academic paper, which I've learned a lot about myself and that I'm not great at academic writing, but let me show you something I've used AnyDesk to do. So all of these represent different simulations that I've done as a part of something called smooth particle hydrodynamics. And this, for example, this one thing right here, this took, I'd say, 2 days to do. I had to like set up the simulation, run the simulation, and I was running it all on my computer, and I didn't want to be chained to the computer while it was running. So what I can do is I can use AnyDesk on my phone, and I can log in and I can just see what is happening on the simulation on my phone, just like that. And that's how I did it. Here is a video of me on a train in England for an upcoming video that we're working on. And I just logged into my computer that was in Alabama. And I was like, man, this is crazy. I'm on a train in England, but I'm logged into the computer in Alabama. Nuts. But another thing you can use it for is to move files around. They've got a built-in FTP system, so you can move files from one system to the other. It's all integrated and it works seamlessly. AnyDesk is awesome. You can try it. It's free. AnyDesk.com/smarter. If you want to check it out, I think you will really enjoy it. Literally free. You get to use it. The business model here is they're like, well, if people want to use this for like their job, the idea is you're going to use it, you're going to like it, and you're going to take it to your business and get an account there. AnyDesk.com/smarter. Big thanks to AnyDesk, specifically Matt, for hooking me up with sponsorships here on Smarter Every Day, letting me do really cool stuff, giving me some of my life back, enabling me to go out and about while still getting the stuff done that I want to do. Yeah, that's it.
Now, over here, I'm able to show you one example of a water fountain. Now, the water fountains were made by 4 blocks of lava, like this one, 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 4 blocks of white marble like the next I show you later. Anyway, the 4 blocks used to be tied together by iron, soldered in stones by lead. When the fountain was full,
So this is lead.
Yes.
And this is iron.
Yes.
Was the iron poured in position or laid in and then?
No, it's the iron and then they put the lead to fix.
I see.
Yes. And when the fountain was full, also animals were able to drink clean water from the pool, like horses, cows, donkeys. But through the central opening that every fountain's got, the water flowed out, slants the road, cleaning and washing the roads every time.
So it flew out right here.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Does this represent, this is for your animals?
Yeah, this one is a kind of face of a bull. Now, because at the time the roads got no name, only the most important roads, like in Rome, the Appia Way, but the roads in the middle of the province, the town that got no name. That's why every water fountain got a different decoration. Here, for example, we had a fountain with a face of a bull, and probably you were able to find a fountain with a face of a horse, of a cow, and so on, just to recognize into the city. When they got some problem with the water, they start to close the water first in a spa, then in the houses, at the end of the water fountains. Water fountains always left open. Then we have back to the road, like you can see over here, 3 or 4 central stepping stones. To wait was a kind of a main road, and if you see on your left,
Which left? Sorry.
no, over there, 1 or 2 is one way.
Ah, yeah.
But unfortunately, we don't know which way.
One way, straight.
But we have to go up there, please.
If I've learned anything about Italian roads, it's like you just make your own rules.
Yes. On the way up to this house, I'm able to show you original lead water pipes. So you can, they got lead water pipes everywhere, under the side roads, under the sidewalks, under the roads, not visible. But the lead is poisoning, yes it is. But the water flow always along the pipes, leaves a layer of calcium all around, protected the rest of the water. Let's say that they got drinkable water in all of the city. But in any case, we are talking about 2000 years ago. At the time they used to die very young, 45 years. And this is one of the reasons, the lead water pipes. Lead was poisoning. But the most impressive things to me, in Italy we never had lead. Romans went to conquer UK just for lead.
Really? Wow.
What I would love that you understand, we are visiting the final result of all the knowledge that the Romans went to conquer all the other lands. Otherwise, it looks like the Italians were genial, the other folks were stupid. No. That's why I did the comparison with the Americans and the States of nowadays. Today in US, Italians, Jewish, Spanish, Japanese, Chinese, working side by side and improving everything for the state. And here we are, 2000 years ago, exactly the same.
What is this? Is this iron? What is this ring?
This one is iron, this one is lead, and this one is the calcium of water. And over there, I'm able to show you how 2 pipes used to be joined together.
Oh gosh, I'm so excited. so excited.
We still do the same after 2000 years.
They would wrap the lead around it? What happened? I don't understand.
Yeah. So how 2 pipes used to be joined together, soldered with lead.
The Latin word for lead is plumbum, which is where we get plumbing, which is awesome. So I could make an entire video about the lead pipes used in ancient Rome because I've always been fascinated by it. In fact, I went to Bath, England, to the Roman baths there. If you ever get a chance to do that, it's fascinating. They have a fantastic display there that explains how they make lead pipes. You can see they've got a big ingot or a pig of lead here, like Chiro was saying. There's a lot more lead in the UK than there is down in Italy, and this display here teaches you how the pipes are made. They wrap it around a piece of wood, they crease it on one side, and they use some clay to stop up one side, and then they pour molten lead to seal that seam, which is fascinating. I could make an entire video about how the lead pipes work in ancient Rome, but let's just get back to Pompeii. That's kind of beyond the scope of this video. Solder it, yeah.
This one is iron, this one is the calcium of water.
It looks like they held the pipe down.
Yeah. Because the lead water pipes were always stow. One with the T connection used to bring water directly to the shops and the houses, and the other lead water pipe bring water directly from one to the next water tanks, wasting no pressure. The lead water pipes were always stow.
You know there's been a ton of scientific papers written on this.
Look, Destin, so we have other lead water pipes.
Oh yeah.
But they go everywhere. So the only The only thing that we can see today only in a few part of the city, not everywhere.
So would this have been, so this is the side of the road here. Would there have been wood here? Or this
No,
is just dirt?
just a sidewalk, terracotta. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
maybe later I show you some, but they go like sidewalks, you know.
it's amazing.
You can see also here, look,
Oh, wow.
other lead water pipes.
The junctions.
It's close here.
Yeah, so nobody can damage it.
Yeah, other. You know what?
Huh. It's a really big pipe junction.
Yeah, you know, they go up. You know why? Look,
Why?
this, they go up. Because
They go
top
over
of-
the road.
Oh no, on top of this pillar, this one it was a pillar. On top of this pillar, they got an additional water tanks.
Wow.
Yes,
So local storage.
because the water. Now I explain you about the water system. The water was a spring water coming from the mountain Avellino, Mount Serino, 40 miles far from here. They did an aqueduct made by arches, a bit slants, to let the water running from on top of the mountain till it reached the highest part of Pompeii over there, where they built a huge water tank. You see the building full of bricks is
Yes.
the main huge water tank. The water for gravity all along the lead water pipes used to flow in all of the shops and the houses. But there was a problem because the water lost pressure. No pumps at the time, no engine. How to give water till to last shop, the last house in the city? They invented what we used to say the system of communicated vases. They did the pillars all over the city like this one, on top of which an additional water tanks, which was smaller than the main one, but at the same height. And the lead water pipes were always tall, like I told you before. So one with the T connection used to bring water in all of the houses and the shops. The second lead water pipe used to bring water directly from one to the next water tanks, wasting no pressure. Try to do this experiment at home. If you go home, you put glasses of the same size. If you connect them, put water in the first glass, the water automatically goes in all of the others. That's what they invented 2000 years ago, without pumps, without engine. Impressive. And I'm able to show you, so you can touch, actually, the original calcium water on the pillar. This one is the original calcium water of 2000 years ago.
That's the, yeah.
Original calcium water of 2000 years ago.
It's amazing. It's incredible. You like chemistry? Taking a picture?
Look, this is all the calcium, you see? These are all the pipes.
Yes.
Go to the next water tank. That's why you see the lead water pipes up.
Yeah. That's amazing. So we're about to enter a famous house in Pompeii known as the Vetti House. It's the house of two brothers. They seem to be rich. And Ciro is trying to explain to me what I'm going to see when I walk in the house. And I'm just not picking up what he's putting down. So he just comes out and says it. And I think you'll get an idea for what these people are like as soon as we walk in the door.
At the very main entrance of the Vetti House, V-E-T-T-I, it was the house of two Roman brothers. They were two very rich wine merchants. I show you this house, then all the houses are the same, what I mean, the same layout. The sides and the decorations used to change between one house and the others. Now, at the very main entrance of this house, we have a God the Priapus. Many times we found God the Priapus in Pompeii.
Priapus?
Yes,
What is that word?
Priapo. And I show you.
Okay.
God the Priapus always showing his big penis, his big phallic symbol.
Oh, I see.
No, many times we found phallic symbol. So many times, sorry, we found God the Priapus in Pompeii. Here is very well preserved. Why God the Priapus many times? Because the phallic symbol it got different meanings, but one of the most important meaning, it was good luck, abundance, prosperity. Now the owners of this house, they want to show the others that they were rich. So the very main entrance, we have God the Priapus with his big phallic symbol. Is okay, you are rich, but not elegant at the very main entrance of the house. Please. Huh?
Oh, I see. So was he a Roman god?
Yes, it was a Roman god. It was the phallic symbol of abundance, prosperity, good luck, fertility. Now, the owners of this house were just rich, but not elegant. They were newer rich, a show off, new money. Now, they want to show the others that they were rich. Imagine that at the very main entrance of the house, we have found the 2 bronze money chests, 2 bronze money box, one to the left, one to the right.
Literally to show their money.
Yeah.
What?
We have found the 2 names on it. Aulus Vetius Restituta, Aulus Vetius Conviva, the name of the 2 Roman brothers. That's why Veti House. Please, I show you. Let's go this way. The house of Veti takes its name from the owners, Aulus Vetius Conviva, Aulus Vetius Restitutus. The 2 Roman brothers.
Brothers owned the house together.
Yes, 2 original bronze money chests. Bronze
So they
money
just
box.
had like treasure chests just
Yes.
sitting out so everybody
In
could
a way
see
to
it.
show the others at the very main entrance of the house. Then
People don't change, do they?
no, nothing changed. Allora, with the Romans, we are at the very beginning of our modern days. Nothing changed.
Ciro showed us more of the Veti house. We had a dining room and what's called the triclinium, where there would be 3 couches where people could lay down. We also saw the kitchen, and the bathroom seemed to be kind of co-located. Ciro showed us the original water pipe that brought water into the kitchen. And then, of course, there was this.
Okay, we have another room for sex with the 1, 2, 3 frescoes on the walls showing different position of sex. So the one to the left and one to the right, very well preserved. I suggest to have a picture, first of all, because this house reopened after 20 years, only a few months ago, but also because you can see the details. You can see how the beds were made at the time, the women already got a bra.
Is it possible that it was just the bedroom and...
I think this one not. This one was a room for sex because I told you before, so they used to pointing. I want this, I want this, I want this, like a menu. So
it had poles for a second story in that.
a little second story. Probably where used to stay other prostitutes or other slaves. Well, probably the owners of this house were 2 very rich wine merchants, but they also owned prostitutes. Over there used to work slaves, prostitutes. Now, slaves prostitutes used to work together with other girls in a small rooms, stone's bed. They got the pimp. They were interested to work hard in a good way because probably tips by tips made by the travelers, they were able to buy the freedom. They're going to do the same kind of a job on their own. That is the difference.
I don't like the guys that own this house.
Come along. Now this room, it was a bedroom. Here you have to imagine a bed. What is important to see, to understand, is that 2,000 years ago, they already knew the perspective and the optical illusion of depth. Something which is a very modern fashion. The French people call it trompe-l'œil, the trick of the eyes. You know, Giotto, Michelangelo, Donatello, they need to rescarve it. It's something the Romans already knew at the time, but at the time Pompeii was still carved, was still buried. In this room, no second stories, but they want to give you the illusion of the second stories. How? There is this big crown molding running all around, sharing the lower part to the upper part. On the upper part, the perspective. So it looks like that we can walk on top of the stairs or we can enter in a wall.
Oh yeah, like you can see the perspective of the stairs really good, right?
Yes, very good, yes. And there is this big crown molding running all around, sharing the lower part to the upper part. Now, with the perspective, the rooms, the houses, looks like bigger than normal.
Oh yeah, look at this. So we have those stairs going in from the right, and we have these going in from the left.
Now, the first part of every house or home is the atrium. We are in the atrium. The atrium, they got the bedrooms and cabinets to the right and to the left. They got the opening in the middle of the roof for the skylight. Since used to rain through the opening, the square pool on the floor. Collect the raining water through the hole. The raining waters flow down to the road, cleaning and washing the roads every time. Is exactly the same for the slaves, just smaller. Here we have a beautiful picture that you can have for yourself. For this Cupid on a Cancer. When you go home, you can print, you can put on in your house. It's one of the best, or maybe the best souvenir that you can have from Pompeii, from this house too. And I show you also a picture to send to your friends. This is for yourself. This one is a picture to send to your friends. They will love it.
Oh, goodness. Priapus. What did you think about the statue of Priapus?
I don't remember it.
It was the big wiener guy.
I obviously didn't think much of it. I don't remember it.
That's funny.
And here we have Urania. Urania was the goddess of the universe, showing the world. This one is the second time that we can see the world. So 2000 years ago, they knew that the world was a globe. Now is the time to show you a bakery.
Okay.
Not a simple one. What I mean, the best preserved in all of the city. We have found the 37 bakeries all around. Wow. Yeah, please.
I wonder how many brothels.
Who knows?
We are in what I consider the best preserved. So look at the mills. The mills were made by two lava stones. We have a conical block of lava, this one fixed on the floor, on top of which a bical block of lava. They put the grain from the top, and they got a wooden pole in one hole, another one to the other side, and the upper stone used to be turned around by slaves or animals, usually donkeys. From the bottom came the flour. All around, a wooden collector where the flour was collected. All along this side, you have to imagine a table with the 4 or 5 slaves used to work and produce loaves of bread, and then, hard to believe, the oven, which is just the same we still use today in a typical Italian pizzeria. Nothing has really changed. The same arch, the same quality of bricks, the small wooden storage, and the dome inside.
The dome inside?
Yeah. My dears, if after 2000 years, not 20, not 200, but 2000, we did not invented anything better than this, is because the taste of the food cooked in an oven like this always got a special taste, a smoked taste. We invented other kind of ovens, like the electric one. But the same pizza, cooked in an oven like this is the original pizza. Cooked in electric ovens is no more a pizza. We call it a focaccia, no pizza anymore. But joking apart, in this oven they found the 3 pieces of bread inside, so black carbonazide. It means at the moment of the eruption they were working over here, when suddenly the eruption of Vesuvius, they ran away, they left the job undone. But we understand that the eruption of Vesuvius was during the day and not during the night, because they were working.
Wow. This, I've never seen a mill like this.
Yeah.
And this iron.
Yeah, they tried it.
It's got the lead on there, like the others.
Yeah, look, that's in here. There's also a picture of the mill.
That's good.
The wooden poles.
I have never seen, is it a concrete mill?
Pardon?
Is it made of concrete or lava stone?
Lava stone. Conical block of lava. They got lava stone from a previous eruption.
Yeah. It's amazing. I have never seen a mill design, like a double cone mill. We've seen the rolling stone mill, right? We've seen the millstone that's a horizontal disc, but a double cone. I wonder if that's more efficient.
Well, it would have to, because it's funneling down, the like only a small amount can enter at the same time instead of a large amount, and then it would spread it
Yeah.
bottom to be able to drive it. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right, now my dears, what do you think is this room?
Is this what I think it is?
I would have thought the bathroom.
Well, I think I've read about this.
What?
Is this a fast food joint?
Yes. Oh, this is the best example of what I call it wine bar and fast food.
Yeah.
Huh? Wine bar and fast food because in these terracotta jars closing in a wall was possible to keep either cool wine or warm food. They used to work like the thermos of today, inside which if you put something cold stays cold, something warm stays warm. I call wine bar and fast food, but the Latin word is a thermopolium, a thermos, because it has to work like the thermos of today. So imagine one side a kind of buffet, vegetable soup, fish, meat, chicken, whatever. They got the lids on top made by wooden, one side a buffet, to the other side a wine bar. That's because I told you, in the terracotta jars was possible to keep either cool wine or warm food.
Something about seeing how normal people probably ate lunch on the streets of the Roman Empire was fascinating to me, and it made me want to connect more with the everyday things that they did. Now, a lot of the artifacts they found at Pompeii were not locally on site. Some were, I'll show you later, but many of the artifacts found in Pompeii and Herculaneum were taken to the National Archaeological Museum in Naples. Tara and I had a few minutes to speed run that museum, and we saw all kinds of fascinating things. We saw ancient Roman glass. We saw lamps that they would use to light their houses. We saw art, paintings that looked like menus. We saw mosaics. One thing I thought was really interesting are these little idols, these little statues, some of which were terracotta, some were bronze. I find these statues to be fascinating because I've read about them. In Acts 19, it's talking about the disturbance that's come up into the Roman Empire because this new thing called Christianity, or it's referred to here as the Way, it's disturbing the sexual ethics and the market forces of the day. Here you can see Acts 19:23. About that time there arose no little disturbance concerning the Way. For a man named Demetrius, a silversmith who made silver shrines of Artemis, brought no little business to the craftsmen. So Demetrius made stuff like this: spoons, saucers, plates, silver, right? But Demetrius also made things like this, little bitty idols to certain gods, but he made them out of silver. And it's fascinating because Demetrius recognized if these gods are no longer assigned the deity that the culture assigned them, then their value goes to zero, except for the weight of the silver, right? So he riled people up and got them really angry at these new group of people, these Christians or the Way. And I just think it's fascinating. We're reading context about people that made things like this silver pepper shaker. This person cared about the affairs of the finances of the Roman Empire. Like, Christianity was subversive and dangerous to the political and financial forces of the day. And it just made things really real to me in a way that I hadn't thought about before. Also, I thought their keys were really cool. It's just really cool to look at the keys. I don't know why. Oh my goodness, look at these keys, Tara. That is amazing. So let's go back to the streets of Pompeii, and fair warning, the next thing we're about to see is pretty somber. We're not going to see the actual bodies of the people that were buried in ash. We're going to see plaster casts of the voids where the bodies were. So this is pretty heavy stuff.
Hello, my dears. Now, how they did the plaster cast. Imagine, during the excavations, the archaeologists felt under the volcanic ash empty spaces left by the decompositions of the bodies. What to do? They simply did injections of the liquid plaster in these empty spaces. Liquid plaster took the shape of the previous bodies. When it dried up, the archaeologists cleaned all the ash away and appeared the bodies in same positions the people were when they died. It means the original bones, skeletons, is still in there. The plaster casts are so important for three reasons. We can see the original shape of the bodies, the original bones, skeletons is still in there, and last moment of life. People died in these positions, like you can see. The first reason people died was asphyxiated, suffocated by gas. They were not able to breathe, and then buried. This guy in the middle is not praying, but he's got part of his clothes near the mouth and the nose. So first they are asphyxiated and then buried. Looking at the cast, they were not very tall. They were short, tiny people. Right? Take your time for pictures.
It's pretty solemn, isn't it?
How many people died? Do they know?
No, it's difficult to say how many people died, how many people escape. At the same time, it's made difficult to say how many people used to live in the house, how many slaves they got. But I would love to show you also other bodies, maybe more beautiful than this because other bodies are without glass on it.
Okay.
Yes, you can see very close. Of course, we are not able to touch.
There's also a museum on site, and we went in and saw what was possibly a family of 4 discovered together.
Look, Destin, here we are able to see the original skull of the baby.
Oh, that's awful. It's very interesting, though.
The original skull, also some clothes.
It's a violent moment.
What did you think about seeing the bodies of the people, the plaster cast, the bodies?
It made it real, right? It made it very real to see
Families.
families.
Yeah. Yeah, it was heavy.
And the protection, the way that they, the way that they lived out the very end, right?
Yeah. It's bizarre to think that those plaster casts were actual people. And there's something very odd about being right next to a person's final moments. It doesn't feel sacrilegious, or I don't. What's the word? It's heavy. It's just a very heavy thing. It made the Roman Empire come alive to me in a way that nothing else ever has. I had this image in my head of what Rome was, and I walked away from Pompeii thinking something very, very different about Rome. I thought slavery was a really big part of this. They were out in the open with a lot of the sexual stuff. It was just a vile time.
That's so funny because I didn't walk away that's not how I left it. I left it seeing how storefronts were set up and the logistics of running a house worked and like how things were built in a way for function without what we have today. So I think I took a little bit different.
I guess being in the physical space,
Yeah.
you felt like you were on the streets and you got to experience it in a different way. Tara and I really enjoyed our time with Ciro. He was super professional, very patient with us, taught us so much through stories, and when we saw this model at the National Museum in Naples, it made us realize that we had only scratched the surface because the site is huge. There's an amphitheater, another brothel, the Temple of Isis. There was so much more that Ciro wanted to show us, but because we had to catch a train, we had to cut it short.
Ciro, thank you. So let's just end it here. So if people want to get a private tour with you, you have other things you didn't show us, of course.
Yeah, definitely. So the area is very big.
So how do they get in touch with you?
Well, you can go on website and contact PompeiiTourGuide.com.
Okay.
This is our website, me and my dad.
Sounds great. And you're fourth generation, right?
Yeah, food, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to you. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Smarter Every Day, and I hope that when you think of the ancient Roman Empire, this video has made you look at it a little bit differently. It certainly did me, and I'm grateful that I was able to do this with my wife. It was a fascinating experience. I think we grew as a couple and as people experiencing this together, and so I'm grateful that you let me do this. So big thanks to everybody that supports Smarter Every Day at patreon.com/smartereveryday. I'm grateful for your support. It's changed my life, and I hope that I continue to earn your support by doing this sort of stuff. So that's it. I'm Destin. You're getting smarter every day. Have a good one. Bye.